So this is Big Diesel, and I'm doing a video based off of past trauma, past experience that I just got out of in a 6-year relationship with a bipolar woman. And I'm going to make several videos on this because I've been in 2 relationships with a bipolar woman. One, I didn't know she was bipolar. Second one, the first time we were together, I didn't know she was bipolar, but the second time when I took her back, she was medically diagnosed as bipolar, schizophrenic, borderline personality disorder, and ADHD. I might be leaving another disorder out. I can't remember. But so luckily in both of these situations, I was only with these people 6 years apiece. So I didn't spend like 10, 20, 30 years, luckily, being in a relationship with these people. So just to kind of give a little letdown of what happened with this last one, because I'll do a video about the first one, because I actually married her, had a child with her, and then I'm still having to co-parent with that one, and I'll give tips and points of how to deal with that in another video. But the first thing, when I dated this person back in 2016, I had a lot going on. I just got out of a divorce with the first bipolar woman. And so I was healing, and I was in this I don't give a fuck stage. We need to take care of my physical appearance at the time. And met this person through a friend, and wasn't even looking for anybody. And she took a liking to me to the point where my friend, whose wife was friends with her at the time, basically kept trying to like hook us up. And I kept being like, I'm not really into it. I don't really care, whatever. I kept trying to like stay away from it because I really didn't feel like dating or entertaining anybody at the time. But after wearing me down a little bit, I just said, all right. And we exchanged numbers. And then the games began from then. She started showing no interest. At first, she showed interest, and then she just kind of like discarded me a little bit. Like I would text her, she'd give me like 1-word text back. And so after like doing that a few days or a week, it might have been, I was like, whatever. So I stopped talking to her. And so and I think she had a relationship with somebody else. And then I guess that didn't work out. That was short lived. And so then she hits me up with a text, and it's like trying to see what I'm doing. So I was like, okay. So I really wasn't taking it serious again, because I was like, we just were talking, and you were like, I guess what they call gray rocking somebody. So we talked again, and I guess she was talking to several different people, going on different dates. I really wasn't doing that. It was like the only person I was talking to at the time. And so then roll it back to barely talking again. So I was kind of done with it. I was like, she's playing games or she's not interested or whatever. So fast forward, I think it might have been a month or so after that happened. And then I don't know what happened in her personal life. Pretty sure whoever she was interested in wasn't interested in her anymore. And I went to the same friend's house because they were throwing a Halloween party. And they were like, why don't you come? And I was like, no, I don't really want to come. And they're like, well, individual I was dealing with is going to be there. And I was like, I really don't want to come now if she's going to be there because I don't really care. And so they were like, no, just come, you don't have to like deal with her or whatever. Just come just to hang out with all of us. And I was like, all right. So I went. And so when I got there, that individual came up to me and was complimenting me to how handsome I was. I think I had this haircut thing I was trying to do looked terrible, but she even commented and said that looked great. It didn't. And then she just really started to love bomb me. And when I say love bombing, I meant like the compliments everywhere I was going at the house or whatever, or at a party, or it was out in the backyard with the bonfire or in the house. That person was just like talking to me and being real sweet all of a sudden. Even trying to like make me an alcoholic drink and, just doing all this stuff she should have did when we first started talking. So I still wasn't putting nothing together. And so ended up finding out that she was like wanting to sleep with me or some shit. And so I really wasn't trying to do that either. I was like, oh, why all this? All of a sudden, he showed no interest for months, and now all of a sudden, we're just constantly like trying to get my attention. And so, me being a man or me being unaware, we did sleep together that night. And like from then on, it was like love bombing times 10. Texting me, calling me, showing up to house when she got off of work, just to be around me. And, other people that were in the situation, like my mother and them, were noticing that she was being clingy. And so I thought it was nice because, I hadn't been talking to anybody. So now I thought this person, like, all of a sudden, I guess, saw my traits, my character traits, and thought they were nice and realized that I was a good person and all that. So that lasted, because the first time me and them were together were 9 months. So that lasted maybe like 2 or 3 months, maybe. And then after the love bomb stage kind of started fizzling out, then started getting the insecurity stuff. Like I have to meet with my ex in another town over to exchange my kid, and my kid was like barely even 2 at the time, and so she got real insecure about my ex and thought I wanted to still be with her and still was trying to do something with her or whatever the case was. And I kept telling her, I was like, no, it's over with. I'm not really trying to do all that. I'm just trying to just get my kid and, whatever. And no matter how much I tried to prove that I wasn't doing anything with my ex, I had no interest in him, she still was like insecure about it. And kept thinking I was cheating on her or I was going to cheat on her or whatever. In the midst of all that, she did some weird stuff that I didn't know what it was. I knew there was something wrong with her because, when I met her, she told me that she was crazy on papers. And at the time, she didn't know what she was. I think she had been misdiagnosed at that point about what she had. So she was taking medication for something, but I don't think it was the right stuff. And she would do some crazy stuff, flip out. She broke up with me, I think, once during that 9 months. And I had some shit over her dad's house. I couldn't get it. And she made me breakfast. And then was like, sit down and eat it. And I'm like, but you just broke up with me. I just came over to get some clothes and like be on about my way. And she's like, I made you breakfast. Sit down and eat it. And then tried to like love bomb me again because I don't know, because she ended it with me, but then she wanted to try to keep it going. So I was like, okay. well, maybe she just changed her mind or what. I didn't put much thought to it as I should have. Um, and I don't know, she might have tried to break up with me several times during that 9 month period, but she ended up getting into it with my ex-wife a lot, and it caused problems between us. And then she took it and tried to put it on me and be like, "Well, you're cowering to her too much, and you're doing this, you're putting her above us, and all this other shit." And it was like a competition, I guess, in her eyes between her and my ex-wife. And I don't know, some words were exchanged over a phone call I was not aware of was happening, because she started harassing my ex-wife with fake numbers, calling her and saying shit and all this other stuff. So at the end of that 9 month stretch, I got tired, and I just basically was like, "What do you want to do?" Because whatever's going on with my ex-wife is not going to end, because we have a child together. And if me having a kid is a problem, then we just need to, figure it out. Either figure it out or you just need to go. And she was like, "Well, I'm just going to go." I was like, "Okay." And so it ended. And even after it ended, she tried to send me messages and talk to me. She tried to get me to meet up with her again, like she did the last time she broke up with me. This time I didn't meet up with her. And she said she wanted her stuff, so I stuck it all in a box and sent it to her. And she kept trying to text me and shit randomly during the week, and I just ignored it eventually. Fast forward, I was in 2017, about 2019, so it's been like a year, almost 2 years since I heard from her. Randomly, she sends me a message and was like, "Hey, what's up?" And my ass responded and was just talking to her. And so then she was like, "Do you have Snapchat still?" So I was like, "Yeah." So I added her on Snapchat. We started talking through there. At the time, I didn't realize what it was, but basically, she just got out of another relationship with somebody else. And you know how Snapchat is, you can talk to people and then the messages disappear, I think, within 24 hours or some shit. So I think that's why she was heavy on talking through Snapchat at the time. I thought she was out of the relationship. She did mention she was in a relationship with a girl this time. And so it kind of threw me off. I was like, "You like girls?" But you'll find out, in another video why that is. And then she went back into love bombing, complimenting me, wanting to see me, texting me all the time, getting mad if I didn't text her back a whole day or call her, or talk to her, answer her phone calls and shit. And at the time, she was like, "We're just friends. We're nothing more than just friends." But I'm thinking, like, so, friends don't talk every day, especially like friends of the opposite sex. Sometimes, not like that, because we had already been something before then. So I was like, "What is this?" And she couldn't put a name on it. She was, and I was like, "So are we friends with benefits, or are we F buddies or whatever?" She was like, "I don't like the word F buddies. So I guess we're just like friends with benefits right now." I was like, "Okay." I was fine with that. I just told her, I was like, "Well, if you sleep with other people, just let me know. If I sleep with other people, I'll let you know, just so we can be safe." Uh, Completely didn't do that. Respected that. Didn't slept with her ex that she got out of a relationship with. Found another ex of hers, slept with him, and then triangulated me into the situation to the point where I got upset again. And I was like, "Dude, I don't know what you're doing, what's going on, but I don't want nothing to do with this." And so when I showed that boundary, then she hit me in my face. It was like, "Oh, you don't "Oh, you're just gonna get upset about a little white lie or something," she said to me. And I was like, first of all, why are you hitting me in my face? That's crazy. So I left. And after some hours passed by, she decided to try to call me or text me and apologize about all of it. And I was just really pissed off. And I was like, I mean, if we're going to do this, you got to like prove to me that you won't be this way. I had to be like in the lowest part of my life at that time because I just kept accepting all these red flags. And I guess it was I really liked her and I really wanted to work with us. And I thought I could, I don't know, love her better. So at this point, when we're getting back together the second time, her ex that she had just been with had told her that something was wrong with her and that she needs to go get re-diagnosed. And so then they re-diagnosed her with bipolar disorder and all those disorders I said at the beginning of the video, schizophrenia and all that. So she was taking medication for it. So I was thinking like, okay, cool. Maybe this will help you not flip out and do all this crazy shit as much. And then, of course, I was like, well, if I'm going to be in a relationship with somebody with bipolar disorder, I need to do my research. And I started looking at bipolar disorder online and reading about it, and then being in a relationship with one. They were like, you got to not take everything so personal. And the person that's in a relationship with the person with the disorder, you need to probably seek a therapist because it's a lot to deal with. And so I thought I could deal with it, and I was being very patient with it. It wasn't as bad. As soon as she got on the medication, it was subtle. It wasn't all the time like it was before. And at the end of it, I ended up staying in the relationship for 6 years, the second time. And we moved in together. So whereas before I was just seeing her on the weekends or whenever we could see each other, living with her, I got to see everything. The highs, the lows, the insecurity went up, the threats and the putting you down and all this, and the real selfish, emotionally selfishness really came out. And just the random manipulation tactics from guilt tripping to twisting your words and telling you stuff that you didn't say this or you didn't see this. Started kind of real heavy. And then every time we would get into an argument or I brought up something that she did, and I would try first 100 times I tried to convey it like an adult, like talk to them. But all it turned into was blame shifting. I would bring up something like, I feel disrespected, or I feel like you didn't care about my feelings in this situation. And she would either get quiet and wouldn't say anything, or she would find something from like years back and be like, well, you did this to me. And then I felt like I had to defend myself. I was like, well, I never knew that this made you feel this type of way because you never brought it up. And I'm doing that, but I never got her to take accountability. I never got her to understand what she did. I never got a resolution on that. Boundary never got really set. It just got wore out to where we were going around in a circle, just throwing blame for like an hour or two until you got to the point you got tired and you're like, whatever, I'm just going to go to bed. No, I'm not even going to entertain this anymore because it literally didn't do shit. So the other thing that I ignored was the high body count. I asked her how many people she been with, and she's like done stuff with, or had sex with, or what else? Like all of it. And so she wrote down. And she wrote this stuff down, and I think it was like almost 30 people, maybe. And I was like, okay, but she was like, well, I'm not like that anymore. I moved on. I'm reformed. I don't do that stuff anymore. I'm ready to get married and have kids and da 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 da. And I was like, okay. And then she's asking me what mine is, and mine's not even a third of hers. Mainly because I've been in long relationships, and I just don't sleep with any and everybody that I meet. And just her telling the different scenario situations in which how she slept with these people was crazy. A lot of them coworkers, a lot of them were just spur of the moment. A lot of them were just like first interactions. And I just was like, yeah. So when we did the second relationship, she wanted to get engaged. And so and this is how manipulative bipolar women are. So we went to go she took me to the mall to go look at some rings at some jewelers like Reed's and K's and stuff. And so she had a specific style that she wanted. She was showing me the ring that she actually wanted. So me being a man that's been married before, I'm thinking like, never been with a woman who picked her actual ring out. Usually it's just like, you just kind of tell your man what kind of stuff you like if you want to do that. But the man ultimately is supposed to go and figure this out by himself at a jeweler. And I've seen dudes take their woman there and he kind of look whatever. If he's having a hard time figuring out what she likes, then he might do that. But to actually pick the rings, if this is the one I want, this one, no other one, this one. And I was like, okay. It was a nice little penny. And I didn't even tell her, I was like, I didn't even spend this much on my ex-wife. And she was like, well, I mean, and then she tried to find one a little bit lower that would look kind of favor that one. So, long story short, I bought the ring and I proposed because we had a conversation before that we can be engaged and be engaged for a long time. And that's fine. I was like, that's cool. It gives me time to vet whether or not I actually want to marry you or not. Because remember, men have the power to marriage for women. And so I proposed to her. I think it was maybe 2 years, either 2 years, maybe. I think it might have been 2 years into the relationship, the second time go around. And I proposed to her. She was all happy. She's flaunting it on Facebook and pictures. She sent it to her sister, her parents, and all that. And she even had me go as far as ask her dad's hand in marriage and stuff, which I had never done. And because that was like important to her to get her dad's blessing, I did it. And he was like, yeah. So, oh God, we get about a year or so into the engagement, and now things have changed. Now she's like, well, I want to get married. When are we gonna get married? I'm thinking like, I don't know, because all this shit that's happened between us is not resolved. I'm not gonna get married to somebody and there's looming problems. So then when she couldn't get that, and then it turned into, well, let's have kids. And so I was like, I don't know if I want to have kids. So we had several arguments about this. So she brought up, I didn't bring any of this stuff up. It was like she was trying to rush this. Like she was trying to rush get married, rush get and have kids. And what is the rush? Because we got all this time. You're in your late 20s and in my early 30s. We got all this time. We have plenty of time to have kids, get married. Why are we rushing? We've only been together like 2.5 years at this point. So, she just was like, well, I don't think you're ever going to get married. Try to guilt trip me to make me feel bad to give her marriage when she wasn't acting right. So I can probably go on and on about this, but just for people who either getting in relationships with bipolar female, I don't know how a bipolar male is. I could speak from experience from being with a bipolar female twice. When you see the red flags at the beginning, because they're going to show them to you because they can't help themselves, believe it. Don't paint over it. Don't think because you're a nice person that you can change this person and love this person and being a good person. If they're a shitty person, they're a shitty person. And don't let them use their disorder against you and say, well, that's me being manic. This is my disorder acting out. It's not how I am. No, that is them. And it's probably way worse than that because they're probably just putting a mask over their face at the time when they meet you, and they're trying to be whatever that you need them to be so they can get whatever they want out of you. So luckily in this situation, I end up discarding her. I'll do that in another video, what happened with that. Last year I discarded her. That turned into a shit show. And I didn't have any kids. I didn't get married to her. So I was able to discard her clean without attachments. And so now I'm just in the healing stage and just trying to get my nervous system and my mind and everything back to the way it was before I got with her. So, but feel free to subscribe and like the video. If you like videos like this, I'll upload some more to this channel. And I have another channel I'm going to just upload mainly these kind of videos. As Big Diesel Talks, Speaks. I'm uploading this same video to that. So if you want to just follow me for those type videos, I do have another YouTube channel and we'll be doing these on. But be good, and I'll see y'all on the next one.